This is the hard part, and this is where you're gonna have to be really brave. Yeah, you're just gonna have to be really brave, and you have to stare dead in the eye of the thing that's scaring you. Like, look in the soul of its eyes and say, I'm not afraid of you. You don't scare me. Like, dead, unhinged. You have to believe that. That's the hard part too. So you had a nightmare last night and you wake up, your heart's racing, you're freaking out, you're just kind of in a bad mood, feeling icky, maybe even a little nauseous. Well, I'm here to tell you how to get over that and how to survive is kind of an extreme word, but how to get through your next nightmare. Because I've had quite a few nightmares myself as a creative, and I think other creatives can relate. It's easy to have vivid dreams. We have a rich imagination, and while that's awesome for writing stories, sometimes it's not so awesome when you have really weird dreams, really bad dreams, or just dreaming in general can kind of throw you off vibe with reality as we perceive it. So it is a challenge, to say the least. But I love dreaming. Typically, it's why I became a writer. I would write about my dreams and turn them into stories. That's how I got started as being a writer and a creative person. So I'm not bashing dreams, but I think we've all had nightmares before, even if we usually don't have vivid dreams. Some people don't dream at all, which is wild to think about. But if you do dream on the regular and have the occasional nightmare, I hope it's just occasional, because it sucks when you have nightmares all the time. I went through a phase like that, especially when I had depression in my 20s. I would get nightmares like almost every night, and it was terrible. And sometimes I had recurring nightmares, and those were kind of the worst, because you kind of anticipated what was coming as soon as you saw the image of the scenery, that you knew what was going to happen. And those could be the worst. I had one dream where it was like this weird, creepy house on top of a hill, like a haunted mansion type, like Scooby-Doo style haunted mansion type. And it was really freaky. And then it would turn out to be like a house that also had like a weird gift shop. And it was like old collectibles, like weird collectibles. And it was one of those marionette dolls, you know, like from like the creepy marionette dolls from like horror movies and stuff. So it would always scare me, and I would freak out, and the doll would come to life, of course, and I would freak out. And this is why I'm sharing this dream, because this is the dream that got me to discover this method. Unfortunately, the only way to get over a nightmare is to go through it. And the first step is to recognize that you're dreaming. I don't typically lucid dream. I like to dream as if I'm watching a movie, and dream as if I like to not know I don't like to be in control of my dreams. So the first step is I like to be an observer. But the first step is to recognize that you're dreaming, which can sometimes be hard to do. You could develop the skill by writing in a journal in the morning when you wake up, a dream journal. So once you recognize that it's a dream, and then you recognize that you're scared in the dream, so you know it's a nightmare. This is the hard part, and this is where you're going to have to be really brave. Yeah, you're just going to have to be really brave, and you have to stare dead in the eye of the thing that's scaring you. Like, look in the soul of its eyes and say, I'm not afraid of you. You don't scare me. Like, dead, unhinged. You have to believe that. That's the hard part too. And then for me, usually I either wake up or the thing vanishes. But that's really hard to do, is to stare what you're scared of in the eye and say, I'm not scared of you. And it sucks to go through it. It does. So I had a nightmare last night, the first one I had in a long time. And, the Avengers were there, so I knew it was dreaming. I don't know the Avengers in real life. But the Avengers were there, and it was a weird version of my school, and a few of my friends were there too. And there was like these like imposter people. It's weird to explain. And anyway, we were dining, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, she's not a person. Look at her eyes." And she was like wearing earrings, and then the earrings like turned into her eyes, and it was like the scariest thing, like the freakiest visual thing ever. So my heart was racing, and in my dream, my heart was like dramatically racing, like a cartoon, like boom, 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 you know, like a Looney Tunes kind of style. And then I woke up. I dreamt I was screaming. I was worried I was screaming when I woke up. And then I was worried my heart rate was like, you know, through the roof. And then I went back to sleep, and of course it was the same dream. Sometimes when you wake up and you go back to sleep, it's a different dream, but this was the same dream, and I didn't want to dream it anymore. I didn't like it. It was so creepy with the eyes. It was like Caroline, but like in real life, because it was very vivid and felt very real. And anyway, so yeah, I stared at the girl with the earring eyes, and I said, "I am not afraid of you." And it took a couple of tries, and I realized why it didn't work, because I didn't believe it myself. So that's the pro tip of this video, is you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that you're not scared of the thing that you're dreaming about. And it does take a little bit of practice, but I believe in you. I think you could do it. You are braver than you think, and smarter than you know. I love that quote. And so yeah, you're braver than you think. You can do it. You are stronger than your fear. And I would also encourage, when you wake up after telling the thing that you're not afraid of, I would write down in your dream journal, you know, or your notes app on your phone, and I would describe the thing. Like when I woke up, I realized, I was like, oh, this is probably related to my imposter syndrome, because I've been feeling the pressure of imposter syndrome like the last couple years. So I think that was me, my subconscious, trying to tell myself, hey, get over it. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and be brave. And you know, it's easy to think of bravery as not being afraid of anything at all, or not being afraid at all. But the true definition of bravery is doing something despite being afraid. It's not the absence of fear. It's the perseverance through the fear that, in my opinion, is true bravery. And I believe that you could be brave and do anything, including getting through your nightmare. All right, that was a little deep, but this was inspired by my nightmare last night, and I know I'm not the only one who has nightmares. So if you're creative and you have vivid dreams all the time, or if this is a one-off thing and you're freaked out because you don't have dreams a lot, I hope this helped. But yeah, the first step is recognizing that it's a dream. Second step is recognizing that it's a nightmare. Third step is stopping in your dream, and then, because a lot of times nightmares, you're running, you're chaotic, so stop in your tracks, stare at the thing, and look like you know, that close to your nightmare thing, and say, I am not afraid of you. You do not scare me. You do not have power over me. And then they'll either poof or you'll wake up. It's been my experience. So I hope that helps. Kind of a strange topic, but yeah, I think creative people, which is what my channel is dedicated to, I think we just dream more on the regular. Oh, and then when you wake up, that's probably another video. So subscribe for more. Not to end on a cliffhanger, but I don't want to make this video too long. So happy creating. Hope you have some good dreams tonight, and don't let the nightmares stop you from doing what you love to do. because your nightmares is just your subconscious trying to tell you something that's bothering you in real life. So don't be afraid of it and try to get through it, and you got this. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have an awesome day.